Hey guys, my name is Robin and I'm the CEO of Studentup.
And my name is Ronan and I'm the CMO and Head of Business Development, again, for Studentup.
So our company wants to make sure that student entrepreneurs can start up a business without the need for capital and that every student can build an impressive resume during their study time.
Right, and so basically what we're going to do today, all of you get to know us a little bit more on a personal basis and actually what drives our motivation to start this business. We asked our intern Tim to prepare some questions for us, which, full disclosure, we haven't read before, so they're going to come at a full surprise. You're going to get a full, authentic reaction to them. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. So, the first question. Do you consider Ductus a failure? If yes, why, and what did you learn from it?
It was definitely a failure, absolutely. So, for some context, Ductus was my first company. I started the company when I was 18 and when I just came to Maastricht University. However, because of this failure, I learned some insights with which I saw the need for Studentup. So, because I failed, because I tried and failed, I learned something that nobody else saw or knew, and that is how that is why Studentup exists. So I'm definitely not regretting that I started this company in the first place.
What were some of the issues that you encountered?
So some of the issues I faced when starting up this business actually was, first of all, finding skilled teammates that had the same vision and motivation as I had. And the second one was, I'm a student, so I don't have a lot of money, right? So when you start a business, it costs a lot of money. And I spent all my money on buying clothes in the first few months and I ran out. So basically finding skilled teammates and money. Those are the two biggest issues I faced. Okay, Ronan, right now you're on exchange, right? And Robin was on exchange before that. So how does the distance from Maastricht influence your decision making and your engagement in cinema?
Well, that's a very good question actually. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly been a lot of difficulties being abroad and yeah, not always being in proximity to the team. I noticed this when I came to Maastricht 3 weeks ago. I was actually working a lot closer with the team and immediately we got a lot more things done and it was a lot easier to do so. But I must say, even with the distance, I mean, Robin and I, we talk to each other probably 2 to 3 hours a day, always updating each other. He tells me what the team is up to. We have a lot of communication going on between myself and the team, which is located in Maastricht, and also our mentor, who is located in Munich. Yes, there are some negatives, but I think in the current day and age, with all the digital possibilities, running a startup with people spread across different countries, different locations is definitely doable, and yeah, I don't really see any huge issues with it.
And it's only for like 1 or 2 months more.
Exactly, and then the plan is to get the team back together again. Yeah, then we're set to go again. Yeah. So, Robin, have you made use of anything you learned in university to start up Studentup? If so, was it necessary or could you have done it without the university system?
Wow, that's a very good question. Actually, I have to think about that for a second. Yeah, so most of the stuff that I use, which I learned at university, is, I think, soft skills. So, like, in university I learned how to present, I learned business English, I learned, like, you know, talking with people in a professional manner. And some of the actual things, like, theories that we learned in university that I use is company valuation, for example. We have to value our startup, accounting, and that kind of stuff. But it's definitely not true that you use all those frameworks, those fake theoretical frameworks that we learn in uni.
You don't need Porter's 5 forces.
Absolutely not. Like, you'll never use it in practice. So if you're not a star in university, then it doesn't mean that you cannot be an entrepreneur, right? Absolutely not. Okay, Ronan, how do you manage to build up the business and managing your studies at the same time? Does one influence the other in any aspect, and do you have time for other things?
I'm laughing at this because yeah, I mean, this is a great example of you can't, like, even if you're not a star at university, it doesn't mean that you can't be successful in the real world. Because I myself, full disclosure, don't really care too much about my grades or care too much about university in itself. I mean, I've always gotten by with decent grades, but I never really put too much emphasis in it simply because I didn't really have an intrinsic drive to perform well at university, because I always knew that I wanted to do something in real life, and I didn't feel that my studies would really benefit me in the way that other people see them, basically. So at this current moment, I don't think I've done anything for university in the past 3 weeks, actually. But yeah, like, I mean, at the moment for university, I'm really just doing the bare minimum, and the rest of the day, like literally 8 to 5, I'm just focusing on Studentup, because in the end, that's what I enjoy doing, and I know that's where my future is going to be. So yeah, it's not hard to manage if you have your priorities set straight, and it doesn't mean that it should be the same for anyone else, but yeah, for me this concept works, and I'm happy with it.
But I mean, like, okay, let's also take my example, because I am studying my ass off at the moment, as
Polar
well
opposite.
yeah, as working for Studentup kind of full time, actually. And I think your study time is the best time to start up a business, because you're not reliable on any income, for example, because either your parents finance you or you get a student loan, and you've got a lot of free time even though you have to study, right? So you can start as a sort of side hustle, and then when you start making money, after your studies, you can focus on it like really full time.
So, Robin, when founding a business, many aspects of it are fairly new and exciting, but sometimes also terrifying. What do you do in situations you've never been in before, and where you don't have any previous experience?
Very, very good question. I mostly follow my intuition. It's a very concise and short answer, but that's basically what it comes down to, because you don't have any past experience to rely, like, to base your decision on.
Except for Ductus, obviously.
Except for Ductus,
Yeah.
exactly. But mostly Ronan and I, when we take an important decision, we both like talk with each other to see what we both feel is right, and then we decide based on our intuition.
But of course, there's some more aspects to it, like we obviously do our research in depth,
Absolutely.
so when there's any legal issues, we want to make sure we're not personally liable, so that's why we always research to the max.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think intuition in the starting stages is a very big part of it.
So, Ronan, what do you do if things are getting too stressful? How do you cool down and relax?
When things are getting too stressful, that's an interesting question, because that's pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Well, as a matter of fact, what I do to de-stress every single time basically is just do sports. I try to go to the gym, I try to go for a run, I try to play football. Now for me, unfortunately, that's a bit difficult at the moment, because I seem to be injured 24/7. So yeah, I would say it was like basic breathing exercises, breathe in, breathe out. I don't really know. And then you just kind of cope with it, you just deal with it, and yeah. I mean, it's part of the lifestyle, it's part of the entrepreneurial lifestyle, and it's what we chose, so you learn methods on how to cope with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these next two questions are questions which Tim posed to both of us, actually. And so the first one is, what were the first steps you undertook when actually building the business?
Well, shall we just tell the story of how it started?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
So the first thing we did is, actually, we wrote down our business plan or idea once, you know?
this was actually done 2 days after the initial idea came, so
Yeah,
we were rather quick on that.
exactly. And afterwards we didn't really adjust it anymore, because if you run a startup, your idea changes so many times.
No.
Yeah, if you keep adjusting your business plan, then it's basically the only thing you're doing, right? So we wrote it down. We wrote it down once, and that's it.
Mm. Yeah, I think if we would go back to it now, it would just be
Completely different.
Completely different.
Absolutely.
So, like, some of the actual first steps that we took were that we started looking for advice. So for mentorship, I knew someone in Munich, our current advisor, Thomas, who's a very experienced entrepreneur. He has 17 different businesses and was a former executive at Disney. So we knew someone who had experience on how to actually get a startup running. And I contacted him, and he was more than happy to get involved into the project. And then he gave us some advice on the next steps. So like building your teammates. And we had a lot of struggle actually finding teammates. We posted on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn.
I remember texting every single one of my WhatsApp contacts.
Yeah,
Like, if they knew anyone that could like be interested in joining.
it was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when we actually realized that our platform is really needed.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, because we were constantly kind of saying like, oh yeah, I wish Studentup already existed, because then it would just be so much easier to actually get this thing running.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Last question. Interesting question. So, you are friends and business partners. What are your thoughts on founding a business with a friend? Were there hard times between you two?
It's a good question. It's a very
good
good
question. Yeah.
Because we've seen a lot of friendships being destroyed when it comes to business. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think we have quite a good approach to it, because I mean, in general, we're both very involved in this project. So whenever we meet up in our free time, we like to talk about it. It's I don't know, for us it comes very natural. Like, it's not we don't have to artificially go to business. What we do have to do sometimes is, like, when we just want to spend some time just chilling and playing FIFA, etc., then we just kind of set ourselves a deadline of like, okay, we're gonna work until 9 p.m. and then from 9 p.m. onwards it's
FIFA time.
It's FIFA time, exactly. Like, and then we tend to stick to it, but of course sometimes we drift off again.
Yeah, but in general, also starting a business with a friend, it could give you some problems, of course. But when I would actually prefer it, because I trust you, like, more than I trust anyone.
I don't trust him, but
Yeah, that doesn't matter. But if like, and that's only what you have with when your best friends already, you know. And I think even after starting the business, our friendship got even better than it was before, even closer, if that was even possible. But but yeah, at the moment there's not much problems. It goes naturally, and we complement each other really well. Let's see in the future. I don't think for us that it will give some problems, but for many people it actually does.
yeah, like you just have to make sure that you set your boundaries right. So like, if you spend a lot of time with each other, that when one of you says, oh yeah, now I just want to do something else with some other friends to like get my mind off of working, etc., then you have to be okay with that, and then it's gonna work out.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this this little wrap up. You got a little bit more insight into who we are as people, and hopefully have trust that we're gonna build a very good and successful platform.
So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and also give us a comment in the comment section down below of what you might want to see more of in the future. So thank you guys very much for watching, and we see you soon. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, my name is Robin. I'm the CEO of Studentup. Yeah.
Oh.
Were you?